Hey, what's happening, Roland? Well, it's been a great week. You know, it's kind of some kind of a tropical depression down here, and it's the very end of September. It's the last week of September, and spring. Well, summer is over, and now it's finally autumn. And so we had a break in the weather. We had a lot of cloud cover like we have right now, and guess what? The topwater fish went crazy in the Everglades. Let me just tell you a little bit about what's happening. I took my favorite tracker boat. This is the Heritage Series that Johnny Morris gave me a couple years ago for helping him out. And we went way deep down in the Everglades. Now, this Everglades situation is really a big deal. You know, you need a good map, you need a good depth finder, and I had all that. And I went way back down. I went to Chuckaluski, over here to Chuckaluski, and I came down the river, down the system, way back in these back areas. And I found these little drains, these little bitty creek deals that came in, and all these little places, and it was the water was flowing in from all the rains we've had, and the snook and the tarpon were in there better than I've ever seen. Now here's the whole deal: when the water temperature is really hot, and it's a really bright sun, it's not so good fishing. But this week's kind of changed. It's like the first break of the weather. It's been cloudy. It's only 80 degrees right now. The water temperature's down quite a bit. And we took topwater plugs, working the little places back in there. We caught these beautiful snook and these beautiful tarpon. Now, we only caught a half a dozen snook and 4 or 5 tarpon, but we had like 30 of them to bite. There were all sorts of different strikes and stuff, and they'd jump off and they'd break our line. In fact, I broke 3 plugs off, and that kind of thing. Okay, this is my tracker boat. I have a good map that will show me just exactly where I went down the Everglades. And also I had this set up here, and I have all my rods, and I even have a fly rod. And this little tracker is really the deal. This little tracker really gets the job done, because what it is, there's overhanging mangrove bushes, and you have to go little channels and tunnels, and you have to go back into these little ponds and stuff. And you take a big, you couldn't get an airboat like this airboat right here would not fit. You couldn't get it through there, even though it's shallow water. That cage is too high. You couldn't get it through the mangroves. You couldn't get my regular bass boat through there. Well, you could, but you'd tear it up and you'd get big green streaks from the mangroves and brown. It would just be leaves everywhere. It would be a disaster for my regular bass boat. But this little aluminum boat, it slid through all the mangroves, and it also washes up good. It's all clean now, and I use the Booyah Clean, of course, and I clean the boats up, and it looks immaculate right now. It's just perfect shape. But you wouldn't know that it just went through just tons of really tough stuff down in the Everglades. Now let's go inside. I'm going to show you a few things about what we're doing. Oh, here's my little toy here. My little electric bike is just all set up for all sorts of neat stuff. And also this week, I went down to O'Reilly's, and I got all these new batteries, these Super Start Series batteries, and I got them all set up for not only the airboat. The airboat, I have to re-battery all the airboat stuff and all my. Actually, it's so important to have a good battery. I just have to tell you that having a good Super Start marine battery, a brand new one that's really good. It's so important. I'm going to remote places in the Everglades. If I break down in there, I mean, you could perish in there. I mean, it's just really bad, out of the way places. Anyway, a little bit of storm coming, a little bit of lightning, thunder, and lightning. We'll go inside now, and I'll show you what's going on in there. I'm back in my shop, and I'm going to go inside. And I'll be another thing. What I'm doing, when I do this film work like I did the last couple of days, what I had happen was I have to do a little thing called a green screen. And what a green screen is if you look behind me, this screen right here is the green screen. Okay. And so when I stand in front of the green screen like this, well, if you don't have anything with green, and I talk, they can take this image that I have right now and superimpose it over any picture that I have. I could be catching fish, I could be running along in a boat, but the picture that you see of me right now is superimposed on that. That's what the green screen does. In fact, when I look at this whole setup right here, if you look, there's the monitor right there, and it shows me. There's another camera right over here, and the camera's recording what we see right now. And these lights light my face, and so the whole thing. For the last couple of days, I've been taking whatever film work I shoot, and I talk about my whole big thing. Well, I'm going to turn this light here off. This light here is kind of in the way. But anyway, that's what green screen is. And green screen is kind of a cool deal because what it does is it allows you to see me and talking about different scenes and talking about things over the green, and it just superimposes it over whatever we want to have on television. So that's just part of the editing process. Now, what I had that was so cool today, and that is this super spook. Let me just show you first of all these pictures right here. This is so cool. Let me just show you this whole thing right here. This is so cool. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Look at that big snook. Look at that big snook. Isn't that cool? That's a big giant snook. Woo! That's like a 15-pound snook, and it just ate me up right at the boat, and I'm jumping all over the place. And that's a really nice big snook. Okay, let's go back over here a little bit. Let's see if I can find another place for this thing. Let's see the snook. Where in the heck's my? Oh, here. Okay, that's a tarpon. What that is, I'm fighting a fish. This is yesterday. This is just yesterday, and I'm way back in the Everglades, way back in the mangroves, and I'm through back in this little creek, this little feeder creek, and here's a tarpon. It's about a 10-pound tarpon jumping out of the water, and that's one deal. Let's go back a little farther. There's another tarpon in another whole different place. That's about a 10-pound, 15-pound tarpon. They jump so good. These tarpon are only about 3 feet long or some 2 feet long. They're not real big, but they really are acrobatic, and so that's a really big deal. Okay, now a little bit farther back. Well, that's a ladyfish. Another thing you catch a few sea trout, you catch snook, you catch tarpon, and you catch ladyfish, and that's just kind of a fun little thing to catch as well. Okay, let's go back a little bit farther and see what else we have. Here's a tarpon right at the boat. It's a little bit of 5-pounder or so, just jumping all around, and I got that bone colored super spook, and I'll show you that in just a second. That's really a big deal, and that's quite a big. And then backing up a little bit farther, I'll go back here one more time, and there's about a 15-pound tarpon, and that's I've caught it. And they're dangerous because it plugs in the mouth and they jump all over the place and they go crazy. So what I'm trying to do, I'm going to take this gaff and I'm going to try to gaff them in the jaw and hold them against the side of the boat and take some pliers and carefully remove the plug because those things are wild. And in fact, what I was trying to do, I was trying to hook them and let them jump off because I didn't really want to get them in this situation. I didn't want to get them in the boat and didn't have to deal with them. But in the process, I actually lost several, and I had a couple of them break my line as well. So it was quite a project. Anyway, that's kind of what's happening with the snook and the tarpon. You saw some of the pictures, and they're really good. Now, how we were catching them is looking at these plugs. Oh, there's a big storm coming up outside. Here was the key deal. This is the Zara Spook. It's the Super Spook Junior. Super Spook Junior. Now I tried some devil horses. You've seen me use the devil horse from time to time, and devil horses are really a great lure, and I've caught a million fish on devil horse. And then there's the bigger spooks, the big super spooks, the big saltwater series, and they're for really bigger fish. But the size fish we were after the last couple days are only the 5 to say 15 or even 20-pound fish, and this is really for bigger fish. So. But we weren't back to where the big fish were. We were just back where little fish were. Now here's the deal: it was a cloudy, overcast day. You could see them rolling up on top. And the whole key to finding these tarpon and snook would you get back in these little estuaries where the little water's kind of flowing in from another little lake or another little creek, and you'll see a little roll. And these tarpon kind of roll to the surface, just slow and easy. And when they do, you just got to make a good accurate cast. You see which way they're moving, and you kind of throw the plug in front of them, and bam, they'll hit it. Not do they. Let me tell you something. This is the most explosive thing. You're talking about a 10-pound fish sometime. It hits harder than any 10-pound bass. I've been to all sorts of places in the Brazilian Rio Negro and all these places on the Amazon. Hey, and the big peacock bass hit these 20-pound peacock bass. They don't hold a candle to a tarpon. A tarpon is a far more superior striker. He blows the plug all apart. It's just a huge strike. He jumps all the crazy. Actually, a tarpon is the most superior. And when you get them the 10, 15, 20-pound size, they go so acrobatic and they hit so well. It's just the best topwater action you've ever seen in your life. I'm telling you, topwater tarpon or something. Now, when I take a plug like that Super Spook, I showed you a couple other plugs, I usually replace the hooks. Now, this particular setup is I have a whole big box of Gamakatsu hooks, and I got every size. I got the little bitty ones from a number 4 or number 6. Actually, a number 6 is really small. These are this size right here are just the number 6s. Then I have a number 4, which is the 4s are actually on this plug right here. That's a 4. That's a Gamakatsu 4, and that's this size right here. Then there's a 2, and that's for the bigger Zero spooks, for example. And then we get into the big saltwater stuff and really big giant hooks. We get up to where we get really huge hooks for the really big plugs and stuff, and these are monster hooks. But anyway, I got all sizes hooks that you could ever want, and I change them out because it's so hard to catch them. And also, I'm using pretty light tackle. I'm just using bass tackle. And the whole key to this kind of fishing is you got to be a good accurate caster, and you got to be ready to throw real quick. So I see the fish roll, I throw the cast right to them, boom, boom, move it to them, boom, and they blow it. And now they hit it once, they hit it twice, 3 times, 4 times. They just keep hitting it. It just goes crazy. It's quite an action. It's quite a deal. Hey, listen, I hope you've enjoyed this little episode about some of the great topwater action I've had down the Everglades these last couple of days. And I enjoy bringing you some information and showing you a few things about how I fish. And okay, folks, and thanks for watching. Hey, hit that likes button. My O'Reilly people, my Bass Pro Shop people, they go to all excited. So please hit the likes button and subscribe soon. And hey, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.